Hey guys, this is Invoked 101, and today I'm doing a updated version of the ABC deck that I did probably a month or so ago. So what happened, actually no, I think it was longer back now, because I dropped this deck when Ancient Fairy got banned, which means like I took the Destrudo parts out, and now it's more of a pure ABC, but it also features an engine that could possibly bring the deck back. Maybe not the most meta thing, because it does happen to brick a lot, which was the issue with ABCs in the first place. But I still think that this deck is a really fun, more casual variant of this deck now. So you'll see the cards I'm talking about when I get to them. So we'll set this aside. And also, I'm sorry if you can see the tripod legs. I'm filming more of a straight down angle in this video. I'm just trying to see how it looks. We'll talk about the monsters first. So of course, with monsters, we have 3A, zoom in just a touch. 3A for the recovery, and also because he's 1900 and just the biggest one. 3B for the search, and 3C. So I like running 3. I think I've always ran 3. I'm pretty sure the only one who I've ever cut down was C, and that was the 2. So real quick, none of these are once per turn, and they're all effects of when they're sent from field to grave. Special summon a union from hand, search a union, add a union other than itself from the graveyard to your hand. So all those in conjunction make for a pretty sweet little deck. And we do have one more union monster in the deck, and that is Torque Tune Gear. This guy, being a level 1 tuner, just gives access to a whole bunch of stuff. And also he's a union, so you can fetch him off of anything in the deck, because he is a light machine union, meaning he's effectively an ABC. He also gives stuff a 500 attack point boost, which is pretty nice. But that's it for the unions. Let's talk about the supports. So we got 3 gold to summon out parts from our hand, and 3 silver to do the same. So these are just to get stuff out of your hand, just to flood the field, make rank 4s, make link 2s, to help just get stuff on. They are here for extending and starting, I guess, in a weird way. And as for engine cards, so we do have some cards that work with the engine, and that engine would be the Brilliant Fusion engine. So we got our Garnet, our Damage Juggler, and I went with Hat Tricker. So I didn't go with Trick Clown because I felt that sending Damage Juggler and then banishing it to search this was a better play to help extend things than for Trick Clown to come back. If you don't, I mean, this could open it up to being more Garnets, but realistically, you could turn these 2 cards into just one Trick Clown. I actually have the Trick Clown right here. So if you do want to play the Trick Clown over these 2, that's perfectly fine. These are just the ones that I picked because I didn't want to pay life points necessarily. It's just how I want to test the deck right now. Because I also felt that if you drew this, it's not as big of a Garnet as drawing Trick Clown or whatever. Like, this still helps extend. There was reasons behind it. You also don't have to even run these. You can just send the ABCs from deck to grave with the Brilliant engine, but I decided to run the Perform Age engine, the Perform Age parts, just to help like extend plays. And for our hand traps, I'm playing 2 Ghost Ogre. I have these in this deck. This deck, I don't know what I would play over this. I would play some Veilers in here if I had spare Veilers, but I don't think I do. I think I'm out. I'll have to go through and organize all my cards one day. And that's it for the monsters. That's 21 monsters. I like this number for this deck. I think it's a pretty slick amount. So let's talk about spells. So for spells, of course, we have our 3 Union Hanger to for searching a union on activation, and also tutoring 1 to immediately equip to 1 on field. So very cool card, mandatory 3 of, and also 3 terraforming. Because we do have it at 3 here in the TCG, we do have to play 3 terraforming. This deck does kind of run off Union Hanger, which is unfortunate. You can do stuff without it, but Union Hanger is such a big playmaker in this deck that you always want to have it with you. You just never don't want to have Union Hanger. And since I said it earlier, 3 Brilliant Fusion. I did say that we were playing this, so there they are. I opted to play 3 instead of 2 because I'm not playing the Predator Plants, and I talked to someone else who plays the Brilliant Engine in their deck, and they were like, yeah, if you don't play the Predator Plants, you want to play 3 Brilliants instead of 2. So I will take the risk of blocking up and bricking. And for the last 2 spells on the deck, I'm playing 1 Monster Reborn and 1 for 1. This was a little bit more effective back when I was playing the Effect Veiler, but it still is an extender card. Being able to ditch an ABC to the graveyard and then summon Torque Tune Gear from the deck is nice, but again, the only target in the deck is Torque Tune Gear, so this could come out and be something else if you really wanted to, or you can kind of mix this build with what I had back then and put in the Effect Veilers and kind of mess around with this Strudo and Dragon Ravine numbers in my previous deck build. So that's it for the spell cards. Next up is traps, because for once this deck does run one of my decks that has traps in it. I've kind of like moved away from playing traps, but this one does have it in there. So our first trap is 3 Torrential Tribute. This is an amazing card in this deck as it not only just bombs your opponent's field, but also triggers all your ABC effects if you have any ABC pieces on the board, which is a very good card to kind of like neg your opponent, but also plus off your stuff, because all your stuff floats. And then I'm playing 1 Skill Drain. I didn't know where to put it, but yeah, I'm playing 1 Skill Drain. This is amazing in this deck as well. Stopping your opponent, because like when you tag out with his ABC Dragon Buster's effect is a tribute as cost, meaning that it resolves in graveyard, so it does activate under Skill Drain. Like it can resolve under Skill Drain. So you get all your ABC pieces back, and since all the ABC pieces float when they're sent from field to grave, they resolve in graveyard, so they also work under Skill Drain. Just everything in this deck works under Skill Drain, and it usually will cripple your opponent. The only thing you can't do is banish, but you can still discard for cost if you really need to get those pieces in the graveyard or whatever. And then for the last cards, I'm running a Solemn package. So we got the Solemn Judgment to negate everything, Solemn Warning to negate most things, and 2 Solemn Strikes to negate lesser things. Just to bomb the opponent. Just again, this is a very control heavy deck right here. These aspects are very control heavy. I do like the numbers. Actually, you know what? A really cool card to replace 1 for 1. I just thought of this. I thought I'd put it in here. Magnet Reverse. That'd be really cool. Summon back a ABC Dragon Buster from the graveyard. But yeah, so these are the traps I like. You could play a 3rd Solemn Strike, also over 1 for 1 if you really want to. I think that's a lot of Solemns though, so. But I guess you would see them like all the time, so don't have to worry about that. But I like the Torrentials. I like the Torrentials, I like these numbers. That's it for spells and traps. That's it for the main deck then. So moving into the extra, we do have a bit of a different extra deck, which is something that's good. I like having completely different deck profiles from like the last one I did. So our first extra deck monster and our first fusion monster is 3 ABC Dragon Buster. This is your main boss monster of the deck. Being able to banish a card just for a discard is fantastic. Tagging out, this guy is insane. Like even in 2018, I think this guy was released in 2016, so 2 years later, this card is still a pretty nutty boss monster. He's kind of like 2016's Dante, if you really think about it. Just really hard to deal with until your opponent exhausts out of them. But usually if your opponent brings out the 3rd one, you've already lost, so. The next fusion monster, and the only other fusion monster, is Seraphonite for the Brilliant Fusion Engine. Of course, it had to be the Seraphonite. There is no other fusion monster in here. I guess you could play some instant fusion, an instant fusion target or something like that, but realistically, you just need the Seraphonite and the Dragon Busters, yeah. Set those to the side. We'll talk about our Synchro monster, Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend. So the thing about, the reason I'm running a level 8 Synchro, because it's like, whoa, how are you summoning that? Is because Torque Tune Gear, while equipped, turns the monster it's equipped to into a tuner, so you can make this and bomb your opponent's board. It does come up every now and then, probably every 10 games, every 5 games if you really want to get into it. He's not the most optimal play, but he is really fun because it does also trigger your the monsters, the 2 pieces theoretically that you use to summon it. That's our Synchro. And for our Xyz, we have Bagooska as our extra deck skill drain in case we don't draw it. Tornado Dragon to pop back row. Also, he's just a 2100 monster, so that's nice. Abyss Dweller to stop Goki. Diamond Direwolf to do about the same thing as Tornado Dragon. And Bujinki Tsukiyomi to help kind of reset our hand. So these are the rank 4s that I chose. They're pretty neat. I guess I already explained why I play what I play, so. I think I played the same exact ones in my old build too. These are just good rank 4s for this deck. And for Link monsters, I'm only running 5. It is a bit different from the last ones. Pentastag probably should be Link Kuriboh now that I think about it, but it's not. Underclock Taker, because he's still good. I like Underclock Taker a lot. He's still really good. We have Pentastag, it gives any linked monster piercing. This lets you shrink stuff. I've always liked Underclock Taker. Hippo Shinigami to buff all our lights. Since almost everything in the deck is a light type monster, this giving everything a 500 boost does kind of like affect the way the game is played. Just because ABC is also kind of like a pseudo beatdown strategy in a way. And for our Link 4s, I'm playing Borrelgard because this should be Borreload. I just didn't feel like digging Borreload out of my Invoked extra deck. If you saw our tin opening, you know that I have actually gotten a Borreload. And Saryuja Skull-Dread. So to draw cards again. So a decent spread of Link monsters. I actually do kind of want to go back and look at my old video and see what Links I was running. Probably Decode Talker, which Borrelgard should be. I think Borrelgard as a decode would be a lot better. I think that would be just a stronger play because then you can turn the Seraph Knight into Decode Talker. Play Decode Talker instead. Decode Talker is a little better than Borrelgard in my opinion. Borrelgard is not bad by any means, but he's definitely the weakest Borrel monster. But that's it for the extra deck. As far as playing this deck goes, I haven't fully tested it, but whoa, that was almost bad. These are new sleeves. I haven't fully tested it. I am excited to play this deck. I will be playing this hopefully in some live duels that will get up at some point soon. So yeah, tell me what you guys thought about this deck in the comments below. If you like what I do, consider supporting me on Patreon. Just that $1 a month allows me to create more Yu-Gi-Oh content, allows me to get more product, to make better deck profiles. And then if you want to keep up with everything that I do, consider subscribing using the button down below. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.